You know what? You're right. That's fine. Now, as you can see, it says NBA ranking 2021, ranking the best players for 2021, 2022, and basically what they have. Let's just do this real quick. They have Steph Curry as number five. They have Luca as number four, which I find that to be a problem. But let's continue. I'll address my opinions after. Number three is LeBron James and
Wait. Who's number four?
Luca.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, Luca's number four. You can see this, right?
Yeah, I can see. I can see it.
Okay. And number three is LeBron James. Number two is Giannis. I have a big issue with that. I have a really
Hmm.
big issue with that. Number two is Giannis, and number one is Kevin Durant. Now, I'll address the rest of the five, but I really have to say this right now. I really have to.
Hmm.
This whole thing with Kevin Durant and Giannis. Look, I said this to you before, and I think you actually said this to me also. I
Hmm.
get it that Kevin Durant is a great shooter. I get it. I understand that he could shoot from inside and he could shoot, from outside. But to me, the matchup that Giannis and KD had, I think it once Kyrie got hurt, I think it was a much you could I know you're gonna disagree with this, but I think it was a much evenly matchup between the two teams
Okay.
in my opinion.
Okay.
Now, so because that I feel that way, I honestly believe that Giannis winning, that series should have elevate him to number one by default because you beat the guy who you're claiming who's the best player in the league. So, so by that reason, and the fact that he could still dominate without being just as good of a shooter, because here's the reason why I hate this whole this guy is a better shooter or this guy is a much more skilled player. When you look at the guy like Kyrie Irving, he could shoot the ball better than Giannis. He's a much ball handler than Giannis. When it comes to talent, but does that mean he's the better player? No, because again, if you could dominate the league and nobody could stop you, it doesn't matter what the other skill that the other players can possess or that could do better than you. It doesn't matter because if a guy who's a better shooter than you, but yet you could still win championships and the other guy cannot, that guy's not better than you. Now you could take a little, small, details of what skill set that the individual may have, but at the end of the day, if you could dominate the league with the skills that you currently have, then that's what we have to go by. Who could dominate the league? Who could dominate the NBA with the skill set that they already possess? You know what I'm saying? But let me hear your thoughts on the top five on here.
Okay. Um. You the thing that you always fall for when it comes to this type of top 10, you always put the best player on the team that won the championship as number one. You always do that,
Yes. Yeah.
and and I'm telling you that that's not always the case. Not always the case. Give you an example. 2011. If the entire NBA had to choose had their choice of what player to start their franchise with, everybody is going to pick LeBron James, including Mark Cuban. I don't give a damn what he says. They're going to pick Mark Cuban. I mean, they're going to pick LeBron James, right? Even though he had a bad NBA Finals, especially for his standard, right? They're going to pick him, right?
Okay.
But the person who won who the best player on that team was Dirk Nowitzki, and I remember you saying that Dirk Nowitzki was the best player in the NBA
For
when
that
that's not
year.
true.
For that year,
No,
yes.
which is not true.
That year,
Which
yes.
was never true. Which was never true.
For that
Because
year. At
if I had
at the very
because
least on that series.
because no, he wasn't even the best player in the series. It was
What?
Dwayne Wade.
No,
It
no,
was
no, 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 no,
Dwayne
no,
Wade
no,
was the best
no.
player in that series.
No, it was Dirk Nowitzki, dude.
No, it was
Come
Dwayne
on,
Wade.
Come on, like you're being biased. You're being biased. Like
A little bit, but
if
like
now
Dwayne Wade
the,
was the
cha-
best player in that series.
the championship that Dwayne Wade had won, I could accept that people said he was the best player on the league for that year. I could accept that. I'll be okay with that because at the very least, during that time, you could easily say that the matchup with him and LeBron James was almost basically even.
Wait,
They both basically did the same thing.
what are you talking about?
I'm talking about the time, the year Dwayne Wade won the championship with
But
Shaq.
Dwayne Wade was on a much better team.
I'm talking about when he won with Shaq.
Yeah, but he was on a much better team
Yeah,
than
but if
LeBron.
yeah, but if you said that he
He had
if
Shaq.
if you said that Dwayne Wade was the best player for that 1 year, I'm okay with that.
But yeah, but that's
Well,
not the only team won the championship.
here's the problem that you have. I feel like you would look at a guy like, for example, like a LeBron James, and that no matter what the other players do, you would never have them, eclipse, LeBron James or Kevin Durant or whoever. That's your issue. You always put that guy as the top guy by default. You have to remember at the end of the day though, if the person had the better year, at least for that 1 year, you have to say that he's the best player for the year.
To me, the way I look at it is that you have to have a year where you are like dominant in your skill, that you are dominant. And when I look at someone like LeBron James, right? The reason why I always say that I would pick him, like I think for a long while I said it was LeBron, and then I switched to Giannis a couple years ago because of potential. Because with Giannis, like he's dominant now without a shot, without a dependable outside shot, and with suspect free throw shooting. Because I always assumed that he would get better at those things, and I still think he could get better at those things. But to me, I'm not going to sit there and be like, oh, well, this guy's the best player in the league because he plays on the best team or the team that survived that year. Like, there's no way I would pick Dirk Nowitzki. And Dirk Nowitzki is a great player, like all-time great. Like, I'm not trying to discredit him.
Mm-hmm.
But there ain't no way in hell I'm picking him over over LeBron, and I ain't picking him over Dwayne Wade. You know what I mean? Like I no. And I don't care if his team won the championship. Like, props to his team for winning the championship. Props to him for being the Finals MVP. But he ain't better than LeBron. And he ain't better than Dwayne Wade.
Oh,
So
he's
why
not
would
better.
so why would I pick him? Why would I think that he's the best player when I don't think that?
Well, if you don't think, obviously overall, if you consider him, as the best player, that's fine. But for that year or for that, like I said, to be at least for that series, he was the best player in that series. I
Because
know
his
you
team
would.
won.
He was the best player in that
Because
series.
his team won.
Okay, that's fine. But he,
Okay,
but
okay,
he
all right.
was the one. He was dominant. He was
Okay,
consistent.
let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. The 2016, I think it was 15. Was it 15 or 16? Fine, the 15 finals, right? Golden State versus Cleveland for their first matchup. Who was the best player in that series?
Uh, Wait, hold on. I'm trying to remember. Was that the year Iguodala won MVP? I'm
I'm not
trying to
telling you.
remember.
I'm not telling you. Who was the best player in that series?
Who mean you're not telling me?
I'm not telling you. Who's the
Uh,
best player in that series?
yeah, I think Iguodala won MVP. The best player in that series was
Wait,
Steph
wait,
Curry. Steph
wait,
Curry.
wait, wait,
Steph
wait.
Curry.
I caught you. Like, why is it not Andre Iguodala?
No, it's not like based on the numbers. Uh, you know, based on the numbers, Steph Curry, was the best player. And secondly, that was pure robbery. Pure robbery.
How was it
Iguodala should have not.
robbery?
Iguodala shouldn't have won MVP. It should have been Steph Curry.
But I mean, again, I don't get caught up in that type of stuff. But but the thing is that it was proven that when they moved Iguodala to the when they moved him to the starting lineup, they were able to they pretty much dominated from there on. They dominated from there on. So
Mm,
and like I mean, and I think Curry had a good series, but he didn't have he wasn't as dynamic in that series that he was during the entire season. Remember, he was torching the league that year.
yeah, and for that year, I would say he was the best player in the league, not LeBron James.
I mean, to me, like the best player in that series was LeBron, in my opinion. The problem is that he had no help because
Okay,
Kyrie and Kevin were hurt.
okay. When the Golden State Warriors won the finals,
Hmm.
and then when they only lost 9 games,
Hmm.
and when they were entering the playoffs, who was the best player in that league?
I would have given it to the Steph.
Okay, so did he no longer became the best player once he lost the NBA Finals, or was he still the best player in the league?
I mean, I think what happened with LeBron James. Well,
No,
LeBron
go ahead,
James
go
and
ahead, go ahead.
yeah, I
Yeah,
think LeBron
you know,
James, Kyrie, and Kevin. Well, mainly LeBron James. Proved pretty much took his crown back. Pretty much
okay,
took his crown.
by winning the finals, by winning
Yeah,
the finals, yes,
but
yes,
like
okay, that's my
yeah,
point. He won.
but
He
the thing is that his team like you can't ignore what Steph Curry did during the regular season. He had an all time great season when his team had an all time great season, right? His team had an all time great season, and he had an all time great season himself. Like it would be like when Jordan and them won 70 games, right? When they won 70 games and giving the MVP award to Karl Malone. Like it didn't make any sense. The guy who should have won the MVP that year was Jordan, and I think he did, and rightfully so, because he was on an all time great team in during the all time great finals. Now let's say I think the team they faced that year was the Sonics. The year that they won 70 games.
yeah, yeah.
It was I think they played the Sonics. Now
Mhm.
if the Sonics somehow beat them, I'm not gonna say that Sean Kemp or Gary Payton um was the best player in the league. It was Michael Jordan.
Yeah, but
He
he's the best player by far. Like it wasn't even close.
Okay, that's fine, but like based on what if the Seattle Supersonics for however reason they would have been able to do it if they had beaten the Bulls based on your logic you would have picked someone who on the Sonics to be MVP and quote the best player. Yes or no?
If the players are close, to me, winning that trophy is the tiebreaker for me because I'm not gonna say that Paul Pierce was the best player in the league when Boston won the championship. I'm not
No, the
saying
best
that.
no the best no the best player on that team was Kevin Garnett. The best player on that team was Kevin Garnett.
Yeah, but they gave the final MVP to Paul Pierce though.
He was Finals MVP. I
Yeah.
thought it was Garnett.
No, no,
No.
before we continue,
Mhm.
oh crap, you can't see it. Let me share the stuff first.
Okay, so let's get back to the actual topic because I think we kind of
Yeah, that's what I was doing. Now
okay. So
here's the rest. So James Harden was at number 10. I have a problem with that.
mhm.
And Anthony Davis is in number 9. I don't even think he's top 10 in my opinion.
Okay,
Um, Damian Lillard is number 8. Yeah, I'm fine with that. Joel Embiid is number 7,
mhm.
and um, I can't pronounce
Nikola
his freaking name.
Jokic,
Nicole
Jokic.
Joker, whatever his name is. Yeah,
Mhm.
he's number 6.
Okay.
So okay, so yeah, he's number 6, and we already went through number 5, which is Steph Curry, and the rest. Do you have a problem, with this list?
No, 'cause I don't care. I don't really care about lists like that. But and honestly, like I don't see how who would you replace?
for Anthony Davis.
No,
Or who-
yeah. Who would you replace,
all right. Um.
and who would you put in?
Okay. And Anthony. Okay. Remember, Anthony Davis. They put him at the number 9 spot. He's
Mm,
not. He's not. He's not. He's to me. He's not better than James Harden.
okay.
Not even close. And because of him, constantly being inconsistent, and he's always injury prone. I can't put him in the top 10 right now. So
Who would
for
you think?
me,
Who would you put in?
I would take him out, and I would actually put in Kawhi Leonard.
He's not. Well, okay. I mean, I look. Kawhi Leonard would be in my top 10, but he's hurt. Like he's not going to be playing this year.
Yeah, but based on that logic,
Well, Anthony Davis not
Anthony
hurt right
Davis
now.
he was hurt last year.
Okay, he was hurt last year, but he's not hurt now.
Mm,
Like Kawhi Leonard's going to be starting on the bench. Like I can't put him on. Like, I mean, it's kind of arbitrary, but like to me, I think this list is more like a preview more than anything else. Like, and I can't put a guy who's not going to be there for a good portion of the season. I mean, we have no clue when he's going to be back.
yeah, but you're not being consistent having now, because you didn't do that when Kevin Durant was when Kevin Durant was hurt. When he had his Achilles, you still said he was a top 5, top 10 guy.
Okay,
Okay, so why can't the same apply to Kawhi Leonard?
I just think that like I don't know. Like I don't.
I caught
For
you.
me, no. Like I'm not trying. Like to me, arguing over. I think that Kevin Durant is a special player. I think he's gonna be an all time great. And I don't know if I feel that way about Kawhi Leonard right now. You know what I mean? Like I think he is to an extent, but his claim to fame is the finals, is the NBA finals. Being the best player in 2014 and being the best player for Toronto in 2019.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like do you remember any regular seasons where you're like, man, this guy is ahead of the class? Like I don't like I know he's had very good regular seasons, but I don't look at him. I don't think he ever had the type of regular season where you can say, oh, he's the best player. Period. You know what I mean?
Well, he was mainly doing that in the playoffs.
And also, I also think that his whatever like injury management thing that he's doing, I think hurts in that regard. And I don't think, and the thing with Anthony Davis is, I just think that he's hurt. You know what I mean? I just think that he gets hurt too often. But there'll be times where Kawhi Leonard just doesn't play basketball because he's resting or whatever.
So overall, you are completely fine with this list.
I mean, I don't see who I would put in the top 10 over any of those other players. You know what I mean? Like me personally, like if I had to pick best play, if I had to pick between Durant and Giannis as number one, I actually would agree. I actually do agree that Kevin Durant should be number one.
What you just said? Oh my goodness! You said Giannis was the best player.
I would pick him to start my franchise, but when it comes to like best player, like I don't know, man. Like I thought what Kevin Durant did last year just impressed the hell out of me.
And not Giannis. Look,
No,
what, what,
Giannis, dude. In that finals, because you remember, like when Kendrick Perkins was trying to start that stupid narrative that Chris Middleton was better than Giannis, like that's the reason why I don't take that dude seriously. Anybody with a brain would tell you that the best player on that team, the most important player on that team, is Giannis. Period. End of story.
agreed.
And he proved that in the finals. He proved that in the finals. But when it comes to for me, like when it comes to a top 10 list, I think that if why would I not think that Kevin Durant don't deserve at least a mention in the top spot with his performance? Like and mind you, he's coming off of an Achilles injury, coming off of the Achilles, like, and he's still like balling like he never left. Like he looked incredible.
Yeah, but the thing with Kevin Durant, I think he already reached his peak. I don't see him getting any better than he is now. Giannis is already dominating the league, and he's going to get better.
No, and
This,
I agree with that. I do agree with that. I do agree with that.
yeah, he's going to get better, and he's already dominating the league now. And
Yeah,
so
but like I said, but when they were 1-on-1, when they were head to head, like
Giannis won.
they were Giannis won. Yeah, he did win, but he was an inch of a shoe away from losing that series. He was. He was a literally like a shoe size away from losing that series. That can't go unnoticed.
Yeah,
That can't go unnoticed.
but at the end of the day,
When you lose your top two stars, and you
one
have
of
to
them,
depend on two, he
he
lost
needs
both of
one.
them.
No,
He lost both of them. He lost both of them.
James Harden played.
Barely. He wasn't the same guy. You know that.
Yeah, he wasn't the same guy, but it was still
Okay.
evenly matched between the two teams.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, it
No, it
was.
wasn't. No, it was not.
Yeah, it was.
The reason why they
You
won
tell me.
those games was Kevin Durant. Because of Durant. That's why. If it seemed evenly matched to you, it's because of Durant.
You honestly do you honestly believe that if Kyrie and James Harden never got hurt, that it would have been a easy matchup between the two of them?
Yeah, I do
No,
think so. I
no.
do think so.
Giannis and the Bucks would have not been able to compete against that team if they were
Yeah,
healthy.
that's what I said. Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
said.
Okay. So
But
with them being injured, it became evenly matched, and when it was evenly matched, Giannis proved that he was the better player.
but he was, like I said, he was an inch. He was a shoe size away from losing that series. So what would you have said then?
That Kevin Durant proved that he was the best player.
Yeah, that's my thing. That's my thing with you. Like, everything with you is always black and white. Everything with you is black and white. So why? How can you? If the difference between how good they are is literally like a shoe size away from each other, then why are you so definitive that Giannis is the better player right now? Again,
Because
we're talking about right now. We're
yeah,
talking about right now. We're not talking about future. We're not talking about future because, like I said, I agree with you that when you look at the future, like Kevin Durant, I still think he can still be great for a long time. Like, I do believe he's that type of talent. But I believe that Giannis is good enough to get better. To get better and better and better. Like, when he can create his own shot, when he create his own outside shot, and stuff like that. Like, I believe that. But I'm talking about for this year. Why is it such a big deal that Durant is ahead when they're literally
because
like this close to each other?
because Giannis is the champ, not KD. Giannis is the champ, and
I
he's
mean,
the final. He
to my knowledge, to
and
my knowledge,
he, and
to
he's
my
the
knowledge,
and he's the Finals MVP.
to my knowledge.
And he showed not only did he show how he is elite when it comes to dominating on the offensive end, he is elite on the defensive end.
Okay,
You,
but
you
to my
like
knowledge,
you can't ignore that. And for me, this is the exact same situation like I told you before. When Michael Jordan announced his retirement, instantly who became the best player in the league? Shaq. Despite the fact that you had Kobe Bryant and Tracy McGrady, you had Allen Iverson, and you had,
are you talking about the second time? Okay,
yeah. When you talk about all those guys who could shoot better, who could dribble the ball better, who could facilitate better, Shaq still became the best player in the league, despite the fact of all of those other abilities, of the other abilities that the other players possessed. It didn't matter because Shaq was still able to dominate the whole entire league and prove that he cannot be beat. Giannis did that last year,
Okay.
despite the fact that KD is the better shooter, that Harden is the better shooter, that Kyrie is the better shooter. It didn't matter. It didn't matter. So what? He still became the champ.
Okay. Um, First of all, I like how you do narrative switching now, because when I always told you the difference between Harden and Giannis, you didn't want to hear nothing about the defensive end. I like how you switch that up now.
That's not
But
true.
secondly,
But go ahead.
no, regardless, all those accolades that you put on Giannis, Durant's already done that twice. Finals MVP twice,
Yeah.
World NBA champion twice,
Do not get me started.
NBA champion twice.
Do not get me started. That those finals wins are fraudulent, and you know it.
No, they're not fraud. They're not fraudulent.
Yes, they are. Yes,
No,
they
they're
are.
not.
Yes, they
No,
are.
they're not.
They're shams. Why? Because there was absolutely no way any other team will be able to compete against that Golden State team.
All right,
Absolutely not.
okay. So what?
Absolutely not.
So what?
That matters. That
No,
matters
no, no.
because you are winning by default. That's why. By default. How in the world was LeBron James or anybody else will be able to compete against that team?
That's not.
You
That's not
you
Golden
you
State's problem.
you are talking
That's
about
not
a
Golden State's
team.
problem.
You are talking about a team that not only did they win a championship, they lost only 9 games. 9. And you add an elite top 5, top 3, or top 2 player in that exact same team that only lost 9 games. How the hell do you expect anybody to compete against that? You
That,
are literally the Avengers with 2 Incredible Hulks.
who
There's no
cares?
way that you could be able to compete.
Who cares?
Of course, he was going to win.
Who
That's common
cares?
sense.
Who
Of course, he was
cares?
going to win. Of
Who
course,
cares? Let me ask you a question. If you were the GM of Golden State and Kevin Durant wanted to come to your team, you would say no.
I'm not blaming Golden State. I'm blaming KD. I'm
Okay,
not blaming Golden State. It's KD. That dude did not want to compete.
but you said that the championship was fraudulent. So therefore,
Exactly. For
therefore
him.
you
For
are
him.
no. He his name's on the he's the Finals MVP. Regardless of how you feel, he's there. He's there. Whether you want to admit it or not, he's there. And what makes what makes the championship that he won in Golden State any less fraudulent than he would going to Brooklyn, where they have Kyrie and James Harden on the same team? Wouldn't you feel like it was
Hold
just
on,
as
hold on.
fraudulent?
Somebody, Ethan. Welcome, Ethan. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, you know who that is?
No.
Well, I appreciate you joining this podcast. And he says Giannis won 1 ring and got everyone's respect. Meanwhile, 4-time champion still demanding his damn respect.
He's referring to LeBron.
LeBron James.
Yeah.
Um,
No,
uh,
look. I'm not like this is not an anti Giannis discussion. When I always told this dude, and he somehow seemed to forget now, because the argument between MVP between Giannis and James Harden, when I always told him that I would 100 times out of 100 pick Giannis, was because of all the stuff that he now all of a sudden heaps praise on Giannis for because he won a championship. You know
yeah,
what I
he
mean?
won a
Like,
championship.
and it's like I saw this before he won a championship, and I said this even if he didn't win a championship. Like his greatness is there. Like he's also like he's going to be great no matter what. You know what I mean? But it's just great now that he was able to go over the hump and win a championship. Like I take nothing away from that. But this notion that you have to be offended that Kevin Durant, who without his 2 best players, still was just a half a shoe inch away from beating that team. They were half a shoe inch away from beating the champions. The only team that put them that threatened them was his team without his 2 best players, Durant. And honestly, he reminded everybody how great he is.
Nobody is saying that Kevin Durant's not great. I just believe that ever since Kyrie got hurt, I believe the two teams were evenly matched, and Giannis proved that he was the better player because
And on
he beat KD. Because look, let's be real here. I already know what you're going to say, but I'm going to say this again. KD and that Golden State team, nobody was not going to beat that team if they were healthy. Nobody,
that,
nobody, no, no,
that's
nobody's not
not
beating that team.
that's
Now,
not KD's problem.
now with with Kyrie Irving and James Harden and KD, if those guys were healthy, nobody's beating that team.
Okay,
Nobody's beating that team.
okay,
So
but you said that the Golden State championships are fraudulent. Wouldn't you feel the same way about Brooklyn?
absolutely, absolutely, dude, you cannot sit here and because remember, the Bucks lost game 1 and game 2 until I believe that's how it went. They lost both 1 and 2, and it wasn't even close.
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good.
You there?
Go ahead. Yeah, I'm good. Go
Oh,
ahead.
now Giannis, remember, he lost both game 1 and game 2, and it wasn't even close. It wasn't even close. There's absolutely no way that that team is going to lose if they were healthy. Nobody could compete because you basically have an all-star team and for for that franchise. So how do you expect anybody to compete against that? This is the reason
Okay.
why. This is the reason why I said that Golden State team. Adding KD. Remember, mind you, who already won a championship, then only
They didn't win.
losing
They didn't win a championship that year. You keep ignoring that.
what
You keep ignoring that.
they did win a
That didn't
championship.
not that year. The year they won 72 games, they didn't win the championship that year.
Yeah, because the league gave Cleveland a platter by suspending Draymond Green. That's why.
For game 6 or game 7?
That's why.
For game 6 or game 7?
Game 6.
Okay, was it game 7?
No.
No, it wasn't. The stupidest narrative in sports right now is the fact that they said that Draymond Green cost Golden State that championship.
It's
No,
true.
he did not. No,
Yeah,
he
he
did
did.
not. No, he
Yeah,
didn't.
he did.
No, because he played in game 7 and he was their best player in game 7. The person who didn't show up was Steph Curry. That's who didn't show up. And at the end of the day, despite winning 72 games, they didn't get the job done.
They still
So
won
what
a
did they do?
championship beforehand.
Okay, was it 2016 or 2015? What did the championship say?
Okay, but they still won a championship already.
No. What did the championship say? 2015 or 2016?
They won in 2015.
Okay. Do they have a 2016 championship?
No.
Then the season was a failure.
Okay, but
there was an abject failure.
It doesn't matter. They were still a championship team at the end of the day.
Not that year.
They were still a championship team, and they were still.
Not that year.
They still would have. They still. Okay.
Not that year.
That's fine.
Not that year.
Okay, that's fine. They still would have dominated the whole entire league the following year.
Except they didn't.
They did.
Except they didn't.
They did.
They didn't win the championship at the end of the day, did they?
Because Draymond Green got suspended. That bogus suspension.
Played game 7.
That suspension was bogus. That series should have been over already.
Game 7.
That series should have been over.
If you are a 72 game winning team who can't win one fucking game at home, you don't deserve a championship. You don't. They realized that. So what did they do? They got the best player in the game. That's what they did. They got a guy who when the threes don't get knocked down, when the post is clogged, you need someone to get 2 points, and they got the best player available to give them 2 points, and that's Kevin Durant.
Oh, wait,
that's not Kevin Durant's fault. No.
That's why he doesn't get his respect. And he knows it. And he knows it. That's why he's arguing with fans. He's arguing with people at the media because he knows deep down that finals MVP in the NBA finals doesn't mean anything.
That's a character flaw in him.
That doesn't mean anything. It's crap. It's garbage. That's what it is. Garbage. Because there's absolutely no way nobody was going to compete against that team. No way.
And that's what you do in the offseason. You construct teams that no one else can beat. That that's common sense, Steve.
Give me a break.
Like I said before, the way that he acts on Twitter is dumb, absolutely dumb. But at the end of the day, that don't change the fact that he won those two championships. Cause that's what he there. That's what he was there for. He was there to help them get back to the top. That's why he was there.
They were already at the top.
No, they weren't. They got knocked down a peg by Cleveland, a team they should have beaten, but they didn't.
Because
And at the end of the
because of
day,
that bogus
and
suspension.
a suspension for a game that for game 6, not game 7.
You mean to tell me that that couldn't have been a momentum changer? You honestly you honestly don't think that you honestly don't think that
Wait.
that was a
Who gives a shit
momentum
about
changer?
momentum?
And
Who gives
and
a momentum? They had their chances to win the game. They had their chances to win, and they didn't. And they didn't. At the end of the day, they had game 7 on their home floor.
yeah, when you have to
You won
face
72 when you win 72 games in the regular season, I expect you to win one fucking game on your home floor, and they didn't.
when you have to
So what did
face
they do?
your opposing team, and you also have to face
Hold on.
Adam whatever his name is. Yeah, the chances of you winning
You don't know,
is
you don't
not
even know the guy's name.
Adam.
You don't,
Yeah, whatever his last name is, I keep
whatever.
pronounce his last
Removing
name.
Kyrie and unhealthy heart. Okay, here's what Ethan said. Removing Kyrie and unhealthy Harden doesn't equal Bucks and Nets.
Let me see. Removing
Okay, and then
Kyrie.
let me yeah, and then Giannis, Holiday, Middleton, Lopez, and Tucker not equals to KD, unhealthy Harden, Griffin, and Jeff Green. I agree with him there. I agree with him
I
there.
don't know, cause you don't think
'Cause-
Blake Griffin was a
no,
factor in that game
no,
in that series.
no. He's not better than Holiday, Lopez, Middleton, or Tucker. He's not. He's washed. He just looked better because he's on a better team.
I think he's better than Tucker.
But Blake
I think he's better than
Griffin.
Tucker, and I think he's better than
Okay.
Lopez.
Look. We can argue over 1 and 2, but the next several best players on that team, without Kyrie and without Harden, are all Bucks players. And despite all of that, he still almost was just one shoe size away from beating that team. That's it. Like, you don't have to like Kevin Durant, but don't sit here and deny his greatness.
No. I never said that.
You're no. You are doing that
No, I'm not.
when you discredit his championships.
Yes,
when
at
you
Golden
discredit his
State.
final
Yes,
MVPs.
and Golden
Then you
State.
don't.
Yes.
Then you're disrespecting his greatness.
No. Don't try that. Again, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but that Golden State team was going to beat anybody. That
That don't matter.
that Golden State team was far beyond an all-star team.
Okay,
That's an all-star.
whatever. No, it don't matter.
That's an
It don't
all-star
matter.
team.
That's not his problem.
How is it that you can expect any other team in the whole entire league to compete against an all-star team?
That's not his problem. That's not his problem.
Four
Look at
out of the 5 guys on there were all-stars.
Look at the first championship that Golden State won. Who was their biggest challenger?
A challenger, like LeBron James.
No. There was a series before that where they almost lost to this team.
You're talking about OKC.
Yeah. Who had a stacked team, a team that was already a team that already had experience in the finals with their best player Kevin Durant and their second best player Russell Westbrook. Okay? Another argument that we had where I was proven correct. Right? even you admitted that I was ultimately correct in that conversation where you thought that Westbrook was the better player.
For that 1 year, yeah, I thought he was better for that 1 year.
Wait, get the hell out of here!
Yeah,
Get the hell out of here!
for that 1 year.
You've been disrespecting this dude's name for years. You've been disrespecting this dude for years,
No, I
and
have
I'm
not.
telling you,
No, 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 no,
and
no,
I'm telling
no, no.
you, at the end of the day, give the man his respect because he
I've
proved that he's still an elite player even after that Achilles injury where players do not come back from.
do I
He's
be,
not the same.
do I believe that Kevin Durant is a top 2, top 3 player? Absolutely. Do I think he's number 1? No, that's not being disrespectful. That's not being disrespectful.
No. The disrespectful part.
The problem that you have is what a lot of NBA fans have, and what a lot of people in the media have. You always you're taking the guy's skill, his shooting ability, and you're automatically going to use that as a pedestal to say that he's the better player than Giannis. Giannis showed that despite the fact that he is not as good a shooter as a KD or as a Kyrie, or is it James Harden or Steph Curry, he still won a championship anyway. He still dominated the league anyway.
He was a shoe size away from losing.
This once again, this is why I keep bringing this up, because you seem to
And he
not
was
get,
a shoe size away from
you
losing.
seem to not get it. This is the exact same situation that happened with Shaquille O'Neal. Who cares that Kobe Bryant and Tracy McGrady and Vince Carter and Allen Iverson were better shooters? Who cares? He still dominated the league anyway. It didn't matter that they were better shooters. He still won, and he still dominated the league. Nobody could beat him. Nobody could touch him. And Giannis did that last year.
You're only saying
And Giannis did that last year.